SBN, Sports Business Now.
Hi, and welcome to Sports Business Now, our interview series where we talk with sports industry executives on unique platforms that they're working on. And I'm your host, Holly Koski. Today we have some great guests from all the way from Portland in the Portland Trailblazers organization, and Dan Harbison and Michele Daterman. Dan is the Senior Director of Interactive Marketing and Media for the Portland Trailblazers, and Michele is the SVP of Marketing and Tickets. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you could just expand a little bit on your roles with the team, that would be great.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'll
You
start.
go first.
Hi, I'm Michele. As the head of tickets and marketing, I like to describe my job as to keep the brand alive and build a fan base proud to be Trailblazers and keep that Rose Garden full and loud. Dan?
Sure. Yeah, quick and to the point. I'm the Senior Director of Digital Marketing and Media, so I oversee the team that runs all the different digital initiatives for us, whether that's sales and marketing initiatives or content. And that stuff isn't necessarily separate. It's very hand in glove, but also there's a lot of different people that are kind of in that space, and that spans anywhere from live video to the primary websites to social, email, mobile. If it's on a computer, a lot of times and a fan touches it, that comes through my team.
Social, we just want to remind our viewers that you can ask Michele or Dan a question on Twitter using the hashtag SBNow. So without further ado, the Portland Trailblazers have launched a new marketing campaign entitled New Team, New Dream, where for the 2012-2013 season. Michele, if you could describe a little bit behind the inspiration and how it's different from years past.
Absolutely. So this year, there's so much that's new for us. We have new draft picks, new veterans, new coaches, new GM, joining 3 of our returning veterans. So with so many new faces, we wanted to introduce this new team to our fans and to our city. We recognize that Rip City wants to know its players, where they come from, their struggles, their hopes for the future, how important the fans are to them. So our thinking was simple. Let's sit down with these new players, let them tell their own unique story, and then we'll share them.
Yeah, speaking of, their unique story, your splash page on your website has, a bunch of interviews with these new players, and they're kind of a longer form. It didn't, feel as contrived or scripted as some other marketing campaigns that some other teams have done. So, how did you come up with this concept? I know you touched a little bit about, the fans wanting to get to know these players. But if you could just expand on that, that would be great.
Sure. I think we've all experienced the power of story. It's meaningful when it's real. So the one thing that we wanted to accomplish more than anything was for this to be natural and genuine. So we certainly did our homework. We dived into the backgrounds of each of our players so we could create questions that would help bring that forward. We asked our radio broadcaster, Antonio Harvey, to be the interviewer because we really felt that he would put them at ease and allow the story to come forward. Thank you for recognizing that it doesn't seem contrived because mission accomplished. It was certainly unrehearsed and unscripted. And I think it works because really our players chose to open up and tell everyone more about themselves.
No, absolutely. I'm sure it was a little difficult getting the player to open up about their journey to the NBA, but it definitely came through on just, the simple backdrop of the setting. So again, I do think that was a mission accomplished on your part. And with the interviews, Nicholas Batum and Wesley Matthews specifically talked about the city and the energy of the Rose Garden in these videos. Is community and pride something of emphasis this year?
It's an emphasis for us every year. We have a 42 going on 43-year tradition of a strong connection between this team and its city. And I think Nick really said it best. When other teams come to play in the Rose Garden, it's not 5-on-5, it's 5 on 20,005, it's 5 on everyone, involved in Rip City. So it's certainly something we look to place an emphasis on every year.
No, I totally agree with Nicholas Batum's comment, and it was refreshing, to hear a player recognize almost the sixth man almost in the fan. So another topic that was touched on in these videos was the legacy of Trailblazer basketball. I know you said that you had a long and proud tradition with, Clyde Drexler and everything like that. And one statement that I thought was particularly poignant was from Wesley Matthews. He said that we have to give them something new to hold on to, in speaking of this season. How do you think this campaign will achieve that?
As Trailblazers, we take our name pretty seriously, and we're always looking to find new ways to create a path to a better future. And even though we're continually looking ahead, we really respect our heritage and our past and how we want to bring fans with us. I think creating these player stories is the first step in giving them something new to hold on to understand how this team is wired, how they're going to play hard and play together and play for the fans, that it's a group worth rooting for.
And Dan, New Team, New Dream has a significant digital component. Can you expand on some of your digital integration that you have going on?
Sure. So, where to start? The splash page obviously is the first kind of front door that we have for our website. So we wanted to make sure that was a really kind of impactful sort of experience for the fans. It wasn't just going to be, just a video or thumbnail grid of a bunch of videos. We really wanted to make people feel that there was an immersive experience. I get there, and first thing you see is, 9 guys that we're going to be telling their stories about, and then getting into each individual story and each individual player, and just kind of having you immerse yourself into that one specific video. And so that's the primary people that are coming to our website through the front door. We know that people live and interact with us in so many different other places than just our primary site, that we wanted to make sure that this was fingered out or spidered out throughout all of our different social social outlets. So we wanted to make sure that not only did it was not fragmented, but it's definitely had a way to weave itself into all these different networks, but also have a cohesive strategy, especially using YouTube to be kind of the focal point. So really looking at, there's different ways to kind of tackle that, but we looked at YouTube being like the distribution hub, so everything being on YouTube, and then when we're going out to Facebook and when we're going out to Twitter or we're going out to Pinterest and even Instagram for that matter, it's drawing in. We're using the same embed and same videos throughout those different areas, just to make sure that we're able to have metrics behind it, how many views are coming through social, and then really trying to make that experience one that is consistent across our platforms. So that's kind of like how we constructed the strategy. We obviously used several hashtags for this. Overarching for just the Trailblazers in general, we use hashtag Rip City, and that's kind of an organic one. A lot of times clubs try to really create like a specific hashtag that they really want their fans to use, and this was more of reflecting what the fans were already using and echoing what their community had already created, and something that we've used as a moniker for the team for decades. And so that kind of made sense to have just Rip City be what people, when they're talking about the team, to use on Twitter and Instagram. We've also, knowing this is a couple month campaign, we're also using hashtag new team and hashtag new dream to be specific about the videos, because there's going to be tweets or there's going to be conversations happening that are going to be about these videos or about the story that's being told, and we want to make sure that we're able to separate that out a little bit from just the overarching efforts that we have during the year. So like for Instagram, it's kind of like, it's not the easiest place that you would expect, like, oh, you run videos on Instagram. What we're doing is we're taking screen grabs, we're taking unique moments and putting quotes about that we think are meaningful around this story the person was telling, and then making sure that we're sharing that out also and letting people know where they can watch this in a longer form, and usually driving back to YouTube for that.
Right. So obviously you've said, YouTube is a focal point this year for you. Is that different than from years past, just based on, the changing arena of social media, or not so much?
No, I think so. It is. It's somewhat divergent because there's a lot of different schools of thought of how much do you use YouTube versus your primary vehicles, especially your website. And we launched 2 years ago Trailblazers.tv and really used that for our main content distribution place for video, especially live video and then recorded video, and where we'll seed some information or seed some videos out on YouTube to keep it as a platform that we want to continue to engage with people. We don't use that as our primary video platform, and we kind of look at this is where these videos are really important is not only for our primary people to watch them, we really wanted them to go and share them and really harness the power of just a social graph and getting people to spread that around. And frankly, our video capabilities with our primary site, just we're not able to go and do that, especially on places like Twitter and Facebook, where if you're on twitter.com and you're reading tweets, you're able to actually watch the video as it's embedded on that page. You don't get taken out to another site. Or on Facebook, you're ever able to watch it inline on the news feed. So that was something that was really important to us, to make sure that we didn't bounce people all over the place trying to find this video or trying to watch the video. They're able to watch right there. If they like it, hopefully they do, they're able, they're going to go and kick it to their 100 to 200 friends and really spread the word about it.
Right. Keep it on, the Portland Trailblazers site, just to, keep that traffic there. So, and another social media platform that you've really done a phenomenal job on is Pinterest, which is one of my favorites. How are you integrating the New Team, New Dream campaign on Pinterest? I know I've seen, a couple pins from the campaign as well.
It's interesting because Pinterest is such a non-traditional social net, especially for sport teams and just for males in general.
Right.
And it's starting to grow. Our following isn't huge, but I think it would be remiss if we weren't active on it. Seeing how Pinterest is actually, the way we see people, or way I view people using Pinterest is a way to identify themselves, collect things to identify yourself with. And a lot of people identify themselves around their sports and around their specific sport teams. So that's kind of for why we got into Pinterest, why we have that strategy. Now, one of the nice things about Pinterest is, and not a lot of people know, you can go and put videos on Pinterest and run YouTube embeds on there.
Right.
And so that's something that we kind of created a board specific to these videos and continue to update them as we release new videos for people to go and watch. So it ends up being like a playlist like you would find on YouTube for people just to watch, like a collection. So where we're not seeing like a ton of views specifically from Pinterest, it also is generate some, and it's something that I think we continue to kind of look at on the ground level and then continue to build from there. We're clearly at the beginning stages of figuring out Pinterest, especially for sports teams.
Awesome. Well, there's been some great, marketing insights out of Rip City, and we thank you for joining us and, shedding a little light on the Trailblazers strategy this season.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
Take care.
And thank you guys for joining us today. We will be joining you again on Friday, which will be with the Detroit Pistons, and also tomorrow for SBN Live. You can tune in at 3 p.m. Central Time. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.
SBN Sports Business Now.